Good evening. Welcome to the evening news. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. The Nigerian Labour Congress has expressed opposition to plans by federal government to remove subsidy without first repairing the nation's refineries to work effectively. National President of the NLC, Ayuba Waba, while presenting the Nigerian Workers' Charter of Demands, said our major demand in the Worker Charter, an alternative to fuel subsidy, is that the local public refineries must work, and also demanded that Nigeria must stop 100% importation of refined petroleum products. The federal government has allocated 3.36 trillion naira for fuel subsidy in 2023, even as the country's debt profile is $102 billion. Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed, who stated that the 2023 budget proposal has a budget deficit of 10.76 trillion naira, said it will be funded through domestic and multilateral borrowings and proceeds from privatization. With about 11 trillion naira spent so far on fuel subsidy in the 7 years, the federal government admitted the facility was no longer sustainable, therefore advocating its removal. A few months to the proposed removal, the labor movement has threatened to embark on national protests expressing opposition to the proposal by the federal government to increase the pump price of petrol. Food and Agriculture Organization has warned that some 25 million Nigerians risk severe hunger between June and August this year. According to a report by the United Nations Agency, which confirmed existing 17 million famished Nigerians, cautioned that the figure will hit the 25 million mark in the predicted period if urgent efforts are not taken to stem the tide. The organization identified drivers of the unsavory development to include persistent conflicts, climate change, inflation, and rising food prices. It noted that access to food has been affected by unrelenting terrorism in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe, as well as banditry and adoption in Katsina, Sokoto, Kaduna, Benue, and Niger State. It recalled that the National Emergency Management Agency reported that last year's flooding claimed more than 676,000 hectares of farmlands, diminished farm harvests, and increased food insecurity across Nigeria. The UN agency said more extreme weather patterns affecting starvation are anticipated in the future. Governor Ademola Adeleke has announced that his administration will establish a world-class cultural center as a means of boosting the revenue generation of the state through culture and tourism. The governor stated this when addressing the Osun State Council for Arts and Culture at the ongoing briefing of ministries, departments, and agencies of government by the new administration. According to him, a well-funded tourism and cultural agency of government with a befitting cultural center will go a long way in improving the internally generated revenue of Osun State and also boost other sectors of the state. The governor was represented at the briefing today by his deputy, Prince Kola Adewusi, expressed concern that 32-year-old state with rich tradition and culture has no befitting cultural center. He said it is absurd to have a Council of Arts and Culture without a cultural center, thereby ordering the council to immediately look for a suitable place where the state cultural center will be built. Also speaking, the executive secretary of the State Council of Arts and Culture, Mr. Samuel Adeniyi, appreciated the governor for showing the zeal and commitment to improving the state tourism potential for the benefit of all and sundry. Also, state chapter of the People's Democratic Party has warned against what it called anti-democratic actions that may threaten the peace of Osun State. The warning is contained in a statement issued today by the party's caretaker chairman, Dr. Adekunle Akinele, in Osogbo, the state capital. The statement alleged that the opposition party is trying to schedule nocturnal meeting tailored towards compromising the outcome of the election petition tribunal at a closely guarded location. The Osun State chapter of the People's Democratic Party alleged that the plot has reached an advanced stage. The party, however, affirmed its trust and that of Governor Ademola Adeleke in the integrity and incorruptibility of members of the panel and the judiciary as a whole. The governor of the state, Senator Ademola Adeleke, has directed an immediate search and rescue mission for the 5 members of Baptist Church who were recently kidnapped under controversial circumstances. This is contained in a release by the spokesperson to the governor, Malam Olawale Rashid. The governor has directed the State Commissioner of Police and other security agencies to take up the matter and ensure safe return of the victims. The Commissioner of Police has consequently activated local and interstate operations to locate and rescue the victims. Governor Adeleke further assured families of the victims that no stone will be left unturned to rescue their loved ones in captivity. The Osbc Christian community, in conjunction with the Obadiah Outreach of the Holy Ghost Revival Mission Elisha, is organizing the New Year prayer program titled "The Lord is with you, while ye be with him," tomorrow afternoon. A release gently signed by the chairman, Osbc Christian Community, Elder Adebayo Akinsanya, and the secretary, Evangelist Olubunga Fabimi, stated that the program will hold at the Chapel of Grace Auditorium at the Osbc premises, Okebale, Oshobo. According to the release, the Director General of Osbc, Mr. Rashid Folaromi, the chief host, will also lead other members of the management and staff of the corporation to the event. The release stated that the General Overseer of the Holy Ghost Revival Nation, Evangelist Joshua Adebe, will be the guest minister at the event. The Engineering Department of Osun State Broadcasting Corporation will tomorrow hold a send-forth for 2 of their retired officers, Mr. Igewole and Mr. Kayode Ige. The Director General, OSBC, Mr. Rashid Folaromi, will lead other top management staff to the program. The event will hold tomorrow by 10 a.m. in the morning at the department. Burial arrangement for late Professor Olusesan Asekun Olarimoye commences with service of songs for the deceased tomorrow evening at Olatunboto Street, Dada Estate, Oshobo. Burial and Thanksgiving service is scheduled for Thursday at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Alafia Street, Okeoniti, Oshobo in the morning. Elder Olusesan Asekun Olarimoye, who died at 68, is survived by wife, children, and grandchildren. Now to sport. Britain's Andy Murray produced one of his best performances in recent years to hold off Italian 13th seed Matteo Berrettini and win 5-set thriller in the Australian Open first round. The 35-year-old scored looks stunned after completing a 6-3, 6-3, 4-6, 6-7, 7-9, 7-6, 10-6 win on Rod Laver Arena. Murray, who thought his hip surgery in 2019 will end his career, saved the match point at 5-4 in the decider. Dan Evans is also through after beating Argentina's Facundo Bagnis. The Englishman seeded 25th won 6-4, 4-6, 6-4, 6-4 in the first round match that delayed for 3 hours because of extreme heat in Melbourne. China's population shrunk last year for the first time in more than 6 decades. China, believed to be the world's most populous country, faces a looming demographic crisis. The nation of 1.4 billion naira has seen birth rate plummet to record lows at its world ages, in rapid decline that analysts want to confuse economic growth and pile pressure on strained public coffers. Beijing's National Bureau of Statistics reported that mainland China's population stood at around 1,411,750,000 at the end of last year, a decrease of 850,000 from the end of the previous year. The number of births was 9.56 million, the MBA said, while the number of deaths stood at 10.41 million. That ends the evening news on OSBC TV. Please join us at 7 for the major report. Good evening.